Did your ex-wife divorce you for really crappy reasons? I often hear this from my clients and from my viewers. They just don't get why she left when they didn't actually do anything that wrong.
We got a good one here, guys. This video is from Rachel Sloan. She's a divorce coach for men. Her video is on the first link in the description box. Click on it. Tell her Darius Sim sent you. Give it a thumbs up. But she's going to go into detail on why women divorce men. And it's for foolish reasons, right? We all know that. And how it affects men overall. Let's get into it.
Right? Like, yes, sure, they made mistakes, but they're human. They didn't do anything that was that big of a deal. Nothing that was worthy or warranted a divorce. This is one of the ways, the main ways, how divorce changes a man. It leaves him feeling confused, bitter, and deeply mistrustful towards women. I'm Rachel Sloan. I'm a master NLP practitioner and a certified life coach. And I work with men like you, men who have gone through a divorce, trying to move on, and don't want to get stuck in that confusion, stuck in that bitterness, living a life of mistrust.
It can leave you jaded. Think about it. You provide for a woman, you give her a good life, you give her the house she wants, you buy the ring she wants, the dog she wants. I mean, you just make sure that she is in a great place in life. You take all the bills and take care of everything, give her vacations, and she still leaves you. That can leave you bitter and jaded and hurt. Because you're like, man, I could have just smashed you and kept moving. I didn't have to get on one knee and ask you to marry me. And it really damages a man and his outlook on women and dating and life.
I help my clients make sense of the past so that they can have meaningful relationships and enjoy connection and possibility again in the future. I hope on this channel to help you do the same. Make sure that you stick around through the end of this video, because after we define what's actually happening here when she leaves for crappy reasons and what it does, how it changes you, I'm actually going to tell you what you can do in this situation when her reasons for divorce suck and is impacting your life for the worse. Please comment on this video. I love hearing from you, and your comments mean a lot to the other viewers as well. Okay, here's what divorce looks like. You have the woman, and she's like, hey, I'm not happy. You don't understand me. I want more. You're too controlling. You don't help around the house. You don't give me enough respect, affection, appreciation, empathy, caring, companionship, etc. Okay, and then we've got you, and you're like, okay, I didn't realize that this was so bad. Didn't realize it was such a big deal. Let's work on this, right? I can do better. I want to learn. I love you. Let's go to counseling.
That's where the man goes wrong. I'm telling you, when you go through that counseling or therapy, that couples counseling, marriage counseling, listen, she's going to take you there and she's going to say, husband, you're doing the wrong things. I don't like this that you're doing. I'm unhappy and all these different things. And the therapist or counselor going to sit across from you and say, well, you need to change who you are, Mr. Man. You need to be a more loving and compassionate and caring husband. You work too much. All this silly crap, man. Like, a woman's happiness is fleeting. Most women are just miserable and bitter. And think about it. They watch reality shows. They look at social media and say, man, this woman has this and that. And they're comparing their relationship and marriage to yours. And then that's what a lot of times they say, you know, I don't want to do this no more. I'm done. I'm unhappy. Like, and you're just wondering what's going on.
Her, no, I'm done. I'm filing for divorce. It's too late. And you are like, what the fuck just happened? I see this far, far too often. It's confusing, it sucks, and it makes no sense. So often men tell me this: look, I know I wasn't perfect by any means, but come on, I didn't kill anybody. I never hit her. I didn't cheat on her. I didn't gamble away our entire finances. I drink a little, but I'm not an addict. How can she divorce me for this? I'm a good man. I'm a good husband. I'm a good father. Most of the men that I talk to have a list. Often it's subconscious, but it's in there. And it's a list of acceptable reasons to divorce someone, right? And those lists can be a little different person to person, but they're usually things that are pretty extreme, right? Murder, abuse. For some people, it's infidelity or certain financial situations or gambling. There's this mental list of things that it's like, okay, if she divorced me for that, I could understand, but I didn't do those things, right? Only a horrible person would do those things. Only a monster would do those things. I have thoughts about that too, because I don't actually agree with that thought. But a lot of men are thinking this way, right? Only a horrible person would kill somebody or beat their wives. I'm not a horrible person. I didn't do those things. So why is she treating me like a monster by filing for divorce?
The reason why she's treating you like a monster is, well, one of the reasons is because she never wanted to be married in the first place. Guys, you have to understand this. A lot of times women, they just get married because it's a check off on their little life goals list. I found the simp, I found the sucker who's going to marry me and give me a ring. And after that, I'm done. Another reason why they divorce you, because they know they're going to get paid, man. Divorce is a big business, man. These attorneys and lawyers and they make so much money, and you're going to be stuck with the bill as a husband. And then on top of that, she could take the kids, she could take the house, she take your money. It's such a sick ordeal, man. It's so sad when a man gets divorced, because most of the time it's not even warranted. These chicks just want a payday. They want to go out there and hop on another pipe. Think about it. It's so like, she is getting your money and she's living in the house that y'all used that you bought, and she's sleeping in the bed with another man who's not doing anything financially for her. That would just break a man. I couldn't do it, man. Like, why get married? And here's the thing: what are the real benefits for a man anyway? Women get all the benefits. They don't got to work really, right? Most of the bills are taken care of by the man. All the finances are taken care of by that man. So what's the point? Women divorce you for stupid reasons, because this was so sick. They wake up and say, you know what? I just feel like divorcing them. I don't want to be together anymore. And men, we look for solutions. So we're like, okay, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And then she tells you one thing, and then you're like, okay, I did it. I fixed this. Oh, then she said, oh, I don't like that. And then she tell you something else, and you fix it. And I don't like it. Listen, it's never enough for these women. They're ungrateful.
When you have this list in your head, these reasons that are acceptable for divorcing somebody, and you notice that you didn't do any of those things, and yet your wife is filing for divorce, this whole train of thought leads you down two really nasty roads. First, it sows a lot of seeds of self-doubt. Does she really think I'm as bad as somebody who beats his wife? Really? Is that how she sees me? Am I that hard to live with? Am I that bad of a person?
When a woman wants to leave you, she views you as the devil. You are a villain to her. You have wronged her. And here's the thing: you have done nothing to her. She just doesn't want to be together anymore. Like, I can see if you did something absolutely crazy to her, but most dudes who get divorced, they didn't cheat. They didn't abuse her. They just, like she said, they probably drink a little bit or whatever. But a lot of these chicks, they're just unhappy with themselves, and they just want to change, and they want to go out and live their best life. A lot of chicks, they get married when they're young, and they didn't, go through their HOE phase, the 304 phase, and they want to say, you know what, I want to live it up with my friends. Like, there's so many different influences that women have that cause them to divorce and leave a man, right? And their single friends. If she got single friends, her single friends are going to try to pressure her to leave you.
Your self-confidence starts to waver when you think like this. If it goes on, it can even really begin to crumble. The second nasty path your brain goes down is you really start to doubt her, right? What happened to the woman that you married? Where did she go? Who is this person in your house? How could a good person do this to somebody they loved? How could she do it to her own children? Right? You end up concluding, well, she probably never loved me, right? She's just been using me this whole time, and I don't even know her. Both the self-doubt and the feelings of betrayal and mistrust often start to grow even worse when you try to save the marriage, when you push for counseling, for therapy, for reconciling. You try to prove to her, you say, hey, look, these reasons, this is not enough to warrant divorce. Let's work on this. I'm willing to work on this. If she doubles down on her decision, which she usually does, and she often gets nasty and accusatory in the process, her continued aggressions, which are often unwarranted and often paint a very unpleasant and unfair negative picture of you throughout the marriage, that adds to your already painful feelings of both self-doubt and shame. And they also confirm that the woman you loved is not the person you thought she was.
That's what it is. The woman you loved and married and took your vows with and said to death do us part, that's not the woman that you actually married. Women put on a mask, and when they meet you, they say, I'm a good girl. I want to get married. I'm this nice woman and everything like that. I will always be with you. And then once they get that ring, they completely switch, right? They probably gave you a lot of sex up front, and they will give you wild, crazy bedroom action. And then when she get that ring, it completely shuts off. You know why? Because she never liked you in the first place. She just did it to get the ring and the validation, to get that wedding cake. I know it's messed up, but this is what most women do. That's why a lot of men are in sexless marriages. And like, what happened? She used to give me all this crazy sex. It used to be so fun. Then I married her, and then it just totally dropped off. Right. She just totally switched. She turned to this evil person, right? Because she never desired you in the first place. She just wanted the ring.
This is a lose-lose cycle for you. You lose faith in yourself, you lose faith in the woman you love, and perhaps you lose faith in women in general. All of this sets you up perfectly to feel despair, helpless, hopeless, and depressed. This is one of the ways that I often see divorce changing a man for the worse. So from where you're sitting, the solution probably seems obvious. She shouldn't file for divorce without having a good reason, right? That typically leads to anger, frustration, and then ultimately despair because you can't do anything about it, right? You can't change it. So in just a moment, I'm going to tell you what you can do. But first, here is just a quick recap of this cycle that so often happens. Okay, so first, women have lots of reasons for filing for divorce. To you, they probably look like really shitty reasons, especially if you have kids and are willing to work on the relationship. So then you seek to make her understand that, help her see that she's making a bad choice for bad reasons, and she pushes back, becoming aggressive, accusatory, or even cruel. The end result, where this path leads you, is not only a divorce that you don't want, but also endless questioning inside your own self, inside your own brain, questioning yourself and your own worth, questioning her character, and maybe questioning how you chose such a bad character, and perhaps questioning the wisdom of ever trusting a woman again. All of that doubt and betrayal leads you down a path that ultimately ends up in despair, depression, and loneliness. So, what can you actually do about any of this? To break free from the cycles of doubt and mistrust, to get off of these paths, the one powerful thing you can do is take a big step back, a step out of your own preconceptions, and look at what is really happening. She didn't leave you for the reasons that she gave you. She left you because she felt alone and she didn't know how to reconnect. She likely tried to reconnect in ways that didn't work, right? They probably didn't take into account your needs or your fears or your desires, just as you have likely tried to connect with her in ways that didn't work. I'm saying this, right, that the reasons she gave you for the divorce aren't the actual reasons, but she probably doesn't know that. She likely doesn't know the real reason that she's leaving. She doesn't identify it as feeling alone. Most of us in Western society are so out of touch with our deeper emotional needs that we feel anger or frustration and we just think that's it. We're angry. We have no awareness of the underlying fear or pain that is always behind anger. But it is. It's always there. So she's not just this like evil, angry bitch who's like lying and manipulating and breaking your heart on purpose and stealing your kids. She might have done those things, right? She may very well have broken your heart and stolen your kids, but it's not because she's like an evil, crazy, manipulative bitch. It's because she's not been able to look at, to tolerate, or even see her own painful underlying emotions. She only felt her nervous system's defensive fight or flight reaction, which said, he's the threat, attack him, blame him, and escape him so that you can feel better. When we feel alone, and if you want to explore this, I get into it in much more depth in last week's video. The link is here above. When we feel alone, that is historically on an evolutionary base, a life or death experience for a human. Being alone for most of human history was a death sentence. Even now, for children, for infants, being left alone means that you die. So the human nervous system responds very strongly to the experience of being alone, to feeling isolated or lonely or disconnected. When you're not aware that that's happening, you just feel the response. The reaction is a fight or flight response. It's resolve the threat, stop being alone, get out of this situation and into something different and better. She might truly believe that you are the problem, when the problem is actually within her. The problem is her own unseen, unprocessed, and intolerable emotions that she doesn't know how to look at, much less communicate so that those needs can be met. When you go along with her, when you jump into the anger with her, you are also failing to see the fear and the pain that are underneath her anger. You're also failing to see the fear and the pain that are underneath your anger. You're falling into the same trap she's in. And now you have very limited choices. When you're just living in the anger and you're not looking at what's underneath for you or for her, you only have a couple of options. Either you're the asshole she's painting you to be, or she is this like evil, crazy, manipulative bitch who's out to ruin your life.